For today's video, I thought that I would sit down and share with you my must-have poetry books for 2021. I did do this video last year and it's actually one of the most popular videos on my channel. So I thought that I would sit down and film another one for you guys. Poetry books are the only books that I read. I think that they're very simple and easy to read. And I love how poetry books can actually speak directly to your emotions rather than through characters or plot lines or stuff like that. So I am really excited to share this video with you. I've got some really good books here from new authors, a couple of authors that were in my last video, and I'm just really excited. So with all that being said, if you do like poetry book videos, then please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel right down below if you haven't already. I will also make sure to link every single one of these books in the description box down below so that if you do enjoy the look of any of them, you can go ahead and shop for yourself. So jumping straight on in, I've got 2 books that I have read, 2 books that are next on my reading list, and 1 book that I kindly got gifted to me by one of you guys, which is crazy to me. I was so excited when I got it in the mail. I'm going to first talk about the book that one of you guys sent me, which I still cannot get over. I am beyond excited about it. I'm gonna be honest, straight up, I've only read a couple of poems out of it because I am such a slow reader and I've been trying to get through all of these books so that I can speak about them. And so far, I am absolutely loving it. I love the cover art. I love the matte finish to the book. For some reason, it's just something that I get so excited about with poetry books. A lot of them do have this matte finish on the front and back, and I don't know, it makes it feel so much more luxurious. So this one is very beautifully designed and it is by the author Danielle Hollein. I'm so sorry, I'm definitely saying your name very wrong. I love the way that this is set out. I love the length of the poems. They're not too long, they're not too short. I don't know, I'm very excited to continue to have a read of this one. So the little blurb on the back says, "There is a poem in my bones, a song in my heart, a painting in my blood, and I would be lost without the inner ruins that make my life art," which I love. I honestly think art is so therapeutic for absolutely anything. Art helps my mental health in more ways than you can imagine. And I think that's a lot of what this book talks about. I am just so excited to continue to read this, and I would definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't already. I will be the first person to support small independent artists, and I will always talk about people who deserve it, which I definitely think that Danielle does. She actually also wrote me a little note and put inside, as well as signed the front cover of this, which I'm so excited by that. It's just something really special. So moving on, I might quickly talk about the 2 books that I have recently purchased but I have not read yet. So I don't want to say too much about the book if I haven't read it yet, but these are 2 that I have had in my Amazon wishlist for ages, and I finally went ahead and purchased them just the other day. So this first one is called Becoming a Wildflower by April Green. I personally don't own any April Green books, so I'm very excited to see how she writes. Just by flicking through the pages, I can definitely tell that these poems are a little bit longer than the ones that I'm used to reading. They've got proper paragraphs and pages, which is a little bit daunting, but nonetheless, I'm very excited to give it a go. So yeah, there's not much else I can say about it. There's nothing written on the back to tell you what the book is about. But if you want to keep updated on my thoughts about any of these books, then definitely make sure to follow me on Instagram, because as I'm reading all of these, I normally put a few of the poems on my Instagram story if I feel as if I can relate to them. So yeah, that's the first little one. So the next one is called The Moon, and this one is by Kay Tolno. I'm gonna say all of these names wrong, and that's something that I got absolutely roasted for in my last one. So if I pronounce people's names wrong in this video, I apologize. I don't know what to tell you, other than fancy names are hard for my little pea brain to pronounce. But like I said, I will link everything in the description box below if you want to actually look at these books, so you don't have to like try and type in what I'm saying. So like I said, this one is called The Moon. The thing that attracted me to it again is the matte black cover and how simplistic the cover art is. I'm a very minimalistic person. I like very simple, plain, black and white type of things. So this cover art definitely screamed my name. And the little blurb on the back just says, "This is the moon in all of her phases. The soft strength it takes to shine through it all. The rain of changes, the clouds of loneliness, and the frozen winter nights of our lives. It is the light from within reflected and given back to you in shades of silver and blue. This is a starry hope to hold on to when you need it the most." Something that I've actually found by going through and reading all of these books now compared to my last video is the fact that I am in such a completely different headspace now to what I was in my last video, and reading these type of books in a positive, healthy headspace and mind frame is just so completely different to when you're really going through it. I think that getting into poetry books helped me the most when I was really, really depressed and I had a lot going on in life. When I was going through really, really dark days, poetry books was something for me to relate to, and that's why I started getting into reading them. I can still connect and relate to things, but it's on a very, very different level. I don't know, I just get a completely different feeling from it. I get a I'm proud of you rather than feeling sorry for you, if that makes sense. So moving on to the last two books, these are the two that I have read. So I'll go with this one first. Again, the matte black cover. It's just so aesthetic. I just love it. Like, look at it with my plants. It looks gorgeous, if you ask me. So this one is called You'll Come Back to Yourself, and it's by the author Michaela Angerman? I don't know. This one I absolutely loved. I, again, have never read any of Michaela's books before, so it was super interesting to go through and read this one. On the back, it just says, "Can you let go of someone without forgetting how they made you feel?" So this one does talk a lot about relationships, losing someone, toxicity in relationships, and just all that good stuff. If you're going through a hard time with any type of relationship in your life, I would definitely recommend checking this one out. It does talk about losing yourself in relationships and then coming back to find yourself again in the end, which I love, because you're not alone in if you've gone through a shitty time and you've completely lost who you are. It's happened to me multiple times, but everything always works its way out in the end, and you are who you are for a reason. This is one of the poems that I actually posted on my Instagram story when I was reading this book. It says, "Whatever's weighing on your heart, baby, let it go. It's okay to just be happy," which obviously I know is easier said than done, but the more that you take the time to sit back and tell yourself that every single day, the easier it does become. Trust me, I was one depressed bitch once and we've made it this far, so. Another book that I would definitely recommend. It's very aesthetically pleasing, it's very relatable, and I really, really enjoyed it. So moving on to the last book that I'm going to share with you guys today. This one is by our good old friend Rupai Kaur, which I got absolutely abused in the comments of my last video for calling her a man. So Rupai is a very, very well-known author. If you haven't heard of her already, what the fuck are you doing? Jump onto Amazon now and order like 3 or 4 of her books, because she is absolutely amazing. She is by far my favorite author, and she talks really rawly and openly about absolutely anything. She is a woman of color, and she also has been through a lot of trauma in regards to sexual assault and rape at a young age. So a lot of her poems are really, really relatable for young girls. Unfortunately, it fucking sucks, but I definitely find Rupai's poems to be the most relatable out of all of the poems that I own. This one I really, really loved. I know it's super popular on Amazon at the moment, and I know that you can also get it at Kmart as well. On the back of this one, it does just say, "After feeling disconnected for so long, my mind and body are finally coming back to each other." This one I do really love a lot, because it does talk about society's view on always having to be on on and going and on the grind and working. She actually touches on a story from her childhood where all she can remember is her dad working 6-7 days straight every single week, and it completely burning him out to the point where he got appendicitis and didn't want to go into hospital for it because he was afraid that he would lose his job, which is crazy. I absolutely relate to that story along with so many other ones. I think especially today, seeing productive morning routines, everyone getting up and going to the gym, like waking up at 5 a.m, getting on the grind. I think there's a very fine line between being productive and also needing to look after yourself as well at the end of the day, because yes, that's amazing if you can be productive and get your shit done, but at the end of the day, if you're completely burnt out, like, what are you gonna do? And that's definitely something that I in particular need to learn, and that's why I did enjoy reading this book. It reminded me that some days you need to have chill days. Some days you need to remind yourself that if you don't feel like pushing 110% to get every single thing done on your to-do list, that it is okay. Tomorrow's a new day and everything will be fine. I don't know, that's something that I struggle with in particular a lot. I am constantly working my ass off to try and mold a better future for myself, but there has to be some point where you stop back and take a look and just realize tomorrow is never guaranteed. Next week is not guaranteed. You need to be enjoying the present just as much as you are looking forward to the future. That's something that's talked about a lot in this book, along with anxiety, which is something that I have a lot of. She struggles every day with anxiety. So the fact that there was a few poems in here that spoke about that as well was really relatable. So yeah, I don't know, just overall a really, really good read, and one that I would definitely recommend picking up, even if you're just at Kmart next time, just chuck it in your trolley. I really only think it's like $10 or $15 at Kmart, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I am absolutely obsessed with it. So those were all of my recent must-have poetry books that I wanted to share with you all today. If you've read any of them, then definitely make sure to let me know in a comment down below, and make sure to let me know what poetry books I should pick up for my next video. I personally absolutely love doing these videos, so if there's any other books that you would like to hear reviews on, then please make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. Again, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel right down below if you haven't already. And with all that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I love you all so much, and I will see you all